am Jared, and we're here tonight with my buddy Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
So, Greg, what's up this week?
Well, it's just busy this week, man. Busy, busy, busy at work day. So much going on in the world right now that you know uh, have conversations with people every day. I don't know about you. I know you stay at home more than I do, but man, I just had I started the week off with an interesting conversation with somebody at my work who has differing beliefs, views of the world of myself, different political and what have you views. And I basically told them that well, I can't follow what your belief system is there because I don't understand it. And their answer was, well, you don't have to understand it. You just have to accept it. And it struck me that that's kind of the mindset of certain people in our country today, not just at the top level, but even down here on our level. They want you to believe their way just because. Now, I have a belief system, you have a belief system, whether it be religious or political or whatever, right? And your views and my views don't always match up. But if we try to understand the other person, then as I told this person, I don't have to accept your belief system. I just have to tolerate it, right? But you cannot force a person to accept something when they don't understand it or when they don't understand why. But it seems like certain groups in our country today are just like, this is the way it is, and you got to accept it.
Well, I know which ones you're talking about and where you're going with that. And if I knew how to silence my damn phone, I would. And I agree. I mean, it's actually really set that community back as the strides they have made as a community such as that. And a lot of people understand now kind of where we were going with this. And uh, yeah, I you don't have to. I'm not gonna have the same mentality you do, and don't force things on me that I don't believe in.
Well, my thing is, if it's your personal life, right? Like if you have differing political views, then we can have a conversation, right? That's how America works. Differing political views are supposed to, the way our system is set up, politically, we're supposed to sit down at a table, whether it's you and me, or you and the neighbor, or me and the neighbor, or the president and the vice president and the Congress, whoever. And the way America was created, we're supposed to sit down and talk to each other so that we can figure out how to meld our belief systems together to make this country work, right? That's how this country works. We're a great melting pot, whether it be from around the world or from within. But when somebody tells me that, you know, donkeys can fly, and that's just because I say so, you have to accept it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I I'm on restraint on this one because I have so many things to say about this topic, and I have a daughter that also is not really happy with me on some of this stuff on this topic.
Right. And I'm sure my son isn't happy with me on some of the things on this topic. But my
But
point is,
it's not. But they have to understand that where we were coming from, living in the era we did, is just now societal normal to accept just the first part of that whole acronym, you know, and most of them were quiet. They didn't want to nobody's business. They just wanted their rights, and it wasn't all flaunty and all this shit. Today, these kids started this shit, and now it's all flaunty, and now it's all I'm this, I'm that. I've got 19 different damn things this way and that way. It's ridiculous. I'm just gonna. You, you just want to fucking stand out and be seen. We got you. We got you. That's pretty much what I'm understanding.
Yeah, my thing is, if you want to discuss your political views openly, politically, that's one thing. Your religious views is another. Openly, we have the right to do that, and you have the right to free speech. But as I've told people, you have the right to buy a Corvette that can do 200 miles an hour. Does that mean you should drive at 200 miles an hour everywhere you go? I
Well,
mean,
I mean,
you
if
know
I
I
had a
would, but
Corvette and I was rich, I would drive at 200 miles
yeah,
an hour everywhere because I could afford the insurance and the liability if I
right.
decided I want
But
to be
but
stupid and
my
kill
point
myself
being,
at 200 miles an hour.
and
But
you and I had this discussion the other day. What you do in the privacy of your own home is none of my business, right?
right,
Unless you make it my business. But why does the whole world need to know what you do inside your house?
they don't.
They don't.
It's like every time you go eat, people take pictures and they do this and they do that and they post it all over Instagram and this, that, and the other. And then they want to be mad when somebody tries to, they're like, well, weren't you just bitching about you not having money, but here you are out eating this and that and this and
Hmm.
that, you know? Look at the way you fucking live. And then they're like, da, 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 da. And it's like, now you mad. I mean, oh, I kill myself because everybody hates me. No, you're not looking at you. You're not looking at the problem. You're
Well,
wanting to live above your means, and it's just not there. And
yeah. Well,
everybody wants to be famous, but
well,
social
it's not
media
even
famous is
famous
different.
anymore. It's like with multimedia, right? With social media, people want to be liked by everybody. Like everybody has to like me, right? I don't need everybody to like me. I don't know about you, but I don't need everybody to like me. Hell, I don't even want everybody to like me. I need to know about 10 people. I'm good.
I don't even need to know 10. If I've
No.
got 5 people, I'm good.
I mean, really, I only need to know 6 people that need to live longer than me. That's it. And that way they can carry me to where I got to go.
Hell no, I don't want them carrying me. They better be putting me on a goddamn back of a Harley somewhere.
Well, you know what I mean.
I'm gonna be stuffed in a Harley seat.
But my point being, and as I told my cohort that I was having a discussion with at work, my personal belief is I don't care what you do. I don't care what you want to call yourself. But you have to understand, just because you call yourself, because I used the example with this person, I said, okay, so somebody, wants to call themselves something they're not. I said, look at me. I'm brown. All my life I had dark hair, dark skin, dark eyes. So what if I woke up tomorrow and decided I want to be recognized as Mexican? And the person said, well, you can't do that. That's not right. And I said, well, I don't understand. I said, you can wake up tomorrow and decide you're a My Little Pony, and I'm supposed to go, that's fantastic. But I can't decide what I want to be because it doesn't fit into what you believe.
Yeah. You
And
know
I
what I
used it,
believe? I believe society is the dumbest shit in the world right now.
and I used the example of pronouns, right? And I said, why are pronouns so important? We've always had pronouns. Boys are he, him, his, whatever. Girls are her, she, whatever. And they were like, well, my pronouns are this. And I said, okay, then from now on, I want my pronouns to be cheese cracker and green jello. Well, you can't do that. That's not right. That's not how it's done.
Those aren't those actually aren't pronouns.
It doesn't matter.
Those are
It
adjectives.
doesn't matter.
Me and
I know what
she
you're saying,
are
but
adjective of
my point being, I can call it whatever I want by the standard I was being demonstrated,
I understand.
right?
No, because you're not grammatically correct anyway. But go ahead, buddy. We'll study English later. We'll
No,
understand.
I
I know.
understand what a pronoun is. My point being, if
I understand your point.
if
I had the same discussion about them, they, and all that shit this weekend
right,
with my daughter, which is, and her girlfriend or partner.
right,
So, and
my-
so, yeah, I'm like, they, no, if it's two, that's they.
right,
If it's a group, it's
them,
them. I'm not understanding they and them. I mean, I guess you could be they and them if you that goddamn crazy, but I don't understand that. No, if you that crazy, just go ahead, lock in, or write your ass down there to any state hospital in the state of Texas or any community mental health stuff and clock in and check in there because you already clocked out from motherfucking half the world anyway.
but my point is, if anybody can call themselves anything they want to call themselves, if anybody can bastardize the language however they want to, right? Because I learned a long time ago in English, there's proper English, right? There's proper use of the words. But if I'm writing a story or a poem, I could take poetic license with English, and I can illustrate a chimpanzee by calling it a block of cheese if I want to, right? As long as I put it in the right context. So, but for this person to say, well, you can't call yourself that my thinking there is, hey, is there like a government form I need to submit? Right? Has somebody created a standard? Can I look that up in a book? I may call myself this, but not that. Okay, awesome. Right? How does that work? So can I go buy a brand new Chevy and go to the tax office and be like, hey, I bought a Chevy, but I want it registered as a Ford.
Sure, you can do that.
No, you can't.
You can too.
Not when you give them a VIN number.
Look, homie,
I'm just saying.
you know,
There's
hey,
standards.
plenty of people coming across the border with new VIN numbers. All right, I got it.
But then I see things like that story over in Fort Worth, and I worry about our kids. I don't want my kid getting hurt because some idiot from that community decided to walk across the street. Luckily for them, they went after a group of people that were more passive and unarmed, and they, ended up getting themselves arrested for macing people and all that. Then I'm like, my personal opinion, and well as I do, I believe we all have the right to own and carry our weapon if we need to. But if I'm going to a peaceful protest, I'm not going to take my gun.
Well, even if it was at a peaceful protest, like he had the ARs and stuff
Right.
like that, they had pepper spray.
Right.
But that's fine. So that way, if they come at you, but you agitated it, these people were standing on the corner minding their own damn business, and you run up to them, and the guy's like, "Look, man, y'all need to separate, go home." They just holding up the signs, and then he's pepper the one that the agitator pepper sprays them
Then they're going to block
because
the
you
path
have
of police
weapons.
officers.
Yeah, and then they tried to. They're like, "Don't reach for the gun! Don't reach for the gun!" I'd have let his ass reach for the gun, but that'd have been me because I'd have shot the shit out of him.
But yeah, well,
I mean, you can only resist so far if you're trying to reach for the damn gun and you trying to restrain him. I'm not gonna tell you quit reaching for a gun. I'm gonna let you reach for it. Then I'm gonna pop your ass because you got stupid.
But my point being, and the news media doesn't cover it like they should, because if it would have been the other way around, you flip that script. Oh man, we'd been watching 15 hours of that a day till everybody went to prison.
Yeah.
Our country has forgotten itself, man. We've forgotten that we have to get along with each other. We don't have to believe like each other. Like, you don't have to believe in the Ku Klux Klan. You don't have to believe in the Black Panther movement or whatever. and they don't have to believe in each other. But in America, they have to tolerate each other. That's what this country's about, whether we like it or not. I don't ascribe to either group, but my point being is I would never attack them just because of their beliefs. Like I wouldn't just walk out of my house and be like, I'm gonna go get these people because they believe this way, right? That's just not me. Some people I know don't have that, whatever it is. But our country, and I've had this discussion with other people in my life outside of my own family, that the best thing we could have in America is like a national day where everybody takes off work and has to go talk to somebody that don't believe what they believe without getting in an argument. Like if I always taught my kids growing up, right? Bringing my kids up, I always told them if two people, two entities, two dogs, whatever, two countries, when they come to physical violence with one another, it's because one or both of them ran out of brain power. And coming from me, that should mean something because I ain't got a whole lot of brain power. I mean, I didn't set that bar real high. You know, like I always told my kids, hey, when you grow up, I want you to be better than me, smarter than me, and richer than me. That should take you about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty much my kids.
You know, because, and you know, I was talking to my son the other day. I was talking to my son, Jack, because, you know, he thinks that he has this thing in the back of his mind that I don't like him because of his choice of lifestyle. And it's not that. And I had to learn to communicate because apparently I don't communicate well. But I was telling him it was more out of fear for him, things that I've seen in my life. Like there's a story from New Orleans from the 70s, and it was a particular type of nightclub establishment that was upstairs in the French Quarter, and it only had one entrance and one exit was the same door, but you had to come down the stairs to get out. And it had a steel bar door for when they closed. And somebody went there and threw a firebomb in it and then locked the door at the bottom of the stairs. Myself and my mother and my stepfather were in the French Quarter that day going to eat lunch. My parents stopped with me. I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. And I watched these people run down the stairs on fire, screaming, smack the steel door and scream till they died and melt down the door. And when the police finally came and told everybody to leave, my family acted like it was nothing. We went on to ate lunch. We never talked about it again. And I look back on it now as an adult and I'm like, my God, if that happened now and a little kid saw that, they'd be in therapy the rest of their freaking life. Mm-hmm. But you and I mean, I came up in a time when that's how they were treated. I don't believe they should be treated that way.
No,
I don't appreciate that particular lifestyle, but I'm not in that lifestyle. But at the same time, I don't want to see that every time I turn around. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, you can't even watch a milk commercial, you know. And you can't.
Where it's almost, and where it's kind of pushed upon everybody. Before, you know, like I have a friend of mine that me and him used to hog hunt together, and another buddy, and you know, him and his partner got married and everything else like that. But if you saw them and all together, they're riding four wheelers, they hang out. I mean, it was just like two chill ass people just hanging out, kicking it with you, and you know, then they do what they do in their behind closed doors, you know.
Well, I feel like,
but it's like now, but he was an older guy too. I mean, he wasn't like old, but I mean, they were our age, you know, and
yeah,
I was like, so they know what the repercussions are of they've seen that hatred and that everything from that lifestyle and the same thing that we're talking about from our era, and so they know what the dangers are that they've seen,
Hmm.
and so they especially being in a small town that they're from,
Well,
it's just one of those things, and
I feel like though, like over the course of my life, people, I would say up until 10 years ago, people were just a little more respectful of each other, regardless of their belief system. Like we all knew, like in the military, I was in the military during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, right?
I was too.
Huh?
I was too.
And we all knew they were there, right? And they knew they they knew that everybody knew, and they didn't care. We didn't care, and that's what I don't understand. Is like I don't care what you do. It's none of my damn business. Just like what I do ain't none of your damn business, unless I tell you it's your business, right? But we all gotta, as I told somebody the other day, this constantly, I need to be seen, I need to be accepted thing. It's like, you want to be accepted? Won't you march down the street with a flag that says, I just got a PhD in nuclear physics and I'm going to save the world? Those people don't march down the street.
No, they're too damn busy studying, trying to
Or,
figure out how to save the world.
or hey, march down the street. Everybody that just got an engineering degree from whatever school, we're going to have I got an engineering degree march. You don't have that. They want to march and ask for rights they already got. Were your rights always acknowledged? No, they were not. That happened to a lot of groups in America, not just one group. But my point being, if you read the Constitution, here's the thing. If somebody wanted me to walk in a protest that said, I support the Constitution of the United States of America, and everybody who is a citizen of the United States of America should get the rights that are in the Constitution, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you and duke it out in the street with anybody that wants to go against the Constitution. But my point being is, your rights are given in the Constitution. You don't get no more, you don't get no less. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter how much money you don't got. It don't matter whether you wear pants or a dress or one flip flop, a snorkel, and a pamper or whatever. It don't matter. The Constitution says this is what you get. For those of us that, as I say, I'm a practicing Christian. I practice a lot. I just don't get any better at it, right? But if you read the Bible, your rights are in there. It doesn't say you can't. It doesn't say you can't do anything in the Bible. It doesn't say that. It says you shouldn't do it, right? Because the God of the Bible doesn't like it. That's for people who have that belief system. If you believe in some other God, I'm willing to bet you your God's got similar things they don't like. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to understand. And the whole point of that is everything in life, just like what's that first rule of physics? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So every action in life, every choice in life has consequences and it has rewards. That's why, like me, I have a debit card, right, for my bank account. I call it a debate card because I only got so much money. So I will debate myself for an hour on whether I want to buy something or not. Because there's a reward if I buy it, and there's a consequence if I buy it. Right? Like I want a new fishing pole, but if I buy that new fishing pole, I probably can't eat lunch for the next 2 weeks.
Or if I buy a new fishing pole, I have to come home and tell my wife.
Well,
That
but
too. But
I
yeah,
think
I agree. Back it ain't even been 10 years, man. It's only been a couple years, so everybody treated everybody differently. You know, it it, there was no division in America. Remember about 2001, dude? Right after 9/11, everybody like flags. Everybody was down. People were like churches were just full of people
mhm.
praying and everything like that, and now it just seems even before then there was a division like there is now in America. and it just seems like they've broken right and left, and now
Hmm.
it's not even like they used to try white and black, and now we all realize, okay, well, we're not divided. We're one people. We're
And that's the
America, and now you're trying right and left, and it's like, look,
and what's the old rule? A house divided against itself will not stand.
but I mean, like I'm been watching a lot of these videos, and they're asking for resignations and stuff in the White House now, and they're telling people they need to resign because they're seeing the access to the border and all that new app that they have. And he was like, "That's not an asylum app. That's like an EBT card, man. They just get it and go across, or
Hmm.
a debit card. They just walk by, they swipe, and they just keep going in like a Metro card.
Hmm.
You know." He was like, "That's ridiculous." And he's like, "There was no questions asked, no asylum paperwork filed, nothing,
Nope.
nobody interviewed, nothing like this." He's like, "They're just hitting the app and going across now."
Now
And
think about this. On that note, this
well, now
people.
hold on, because they've already seen so many terrorists on the most wanted list coming
Oh, I
home.
know, but that's what I'm getting at. So people can walk across our southern border like they're walking to church on Sunday, and ain't nobody gonna bother them, right? Under this administration, but yet those people that stood up for us in Afghanistan and that worked for our military and that did things for our military that got left there can't get here.
Mhm.
People that people that wanted to be in this country so bad they were willing to serve
Sacrifice their
everything.
life because those guys, they have a video coming out on about the SF guys. It's a movie that one of the interpreters, they found out that he was an interpreter for the SF guys, and the Taliban was going after him. And what they don't understand is these guys that did help us and contract to us and interpret for us and stuff like that. When they go out on mission, they're out in black mask. All you see is the eyes most of the time because they didn't want the people to know who the hell they are. You know, because most of the time you didn't just say their name, you just be like, "Interpreter, Turk, Turk, come here,"
Hmm.
and he'd be like, "This is what I need to know," and then you start talking to people or whatever. But you know, they put their lives on the line and their livelihood
And their families.
and their families because they wouldn't go in and kill them. They'd
Yeah.
go in there and just torture their families before they killed all everybody. And half the time they just beat the hell out of him, make him wish he was dead or something, and then they finally kill him. But yeah, I mean, them dudes were brutal. So yeah, they're letting these get people come through in droves. I understand where you're going. It's ridiculous right now. And now Washington D.C. saying that they're having an issue with all this, and they're becoming a border town. The literally the District of Columbia has come back and said we are becoming a border town, and we
Hmm.
were like, what?
Dude, the
And they're like,
Demo-
we're getting treated like a border town because of the governor of Texas and the governor of Florida are sending uh, immigrants to them, illegal immigrants to them by the busloads in Washington D.C.
but
with no result.
the federal government's been
And
doing
now
that
it's
for years.
well, it's Texas and Florida's
Oh
issue.
yeah, it's our fault.
It's our fault, and we should our border towns should just accept it.
Well, I could solve that problem for them. They should just kick us out of the union. How about that?
I've been saying Texas for a long time. I wish they would. They don't understand how much better it would be over here. Because if they say what's going to happen with the dollar happens, and I'm seeing it starting to happen. You look at the S&P right now, the Dow, it's 2 days in a row in the Dow that it's under like 200 down.
Well, did you see the
I think
report?
yesterday it was like 143 or something down, or 243 or something, and then today it's like
Did
90
you see
something. I'm like, oh.
There was a
Oh,
report that came out today. It was on Newsbreak. I meant to send it to you. I didn't send it to you, but I meant to. For the first time in history, high earners, people in executive level jobs, are filing for unemployment at a higher rate than the low end workers because so many companies are cutting the fat and getting rid of these, mid level management jobs and, corporate feelings officer and, corporate toenail officer and all these other things that they had all these years.
yeah, all these liberal arts basket weaving degrees are now going away.
Yeah. Your audio's being funny, dude.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of quiet, but I can hear you.
All right. Anyways,
So, yeah.
but no, all these liberal arts degrees are going away. These big middle management, the top execs are coming out too. They're
Mm-hmm.
liquefying all these guys that started all this, and now they're losing money because of all these $150,000 a year salaries, and you've got all the HR and cultural feeling experts and all this shit they had to hire for all this EEOC diversity shit, which they're trying to do feelings. I understand about EEOC, but the whole feelings, I don't give a fuck how you feel. Can you do your job? Yes, then get the fucking work. All
But,
right. That's of course I was, that's the way military was, and then you got coming out of the military to civilian life. That's a whole nother topic, buddy, because our work ethic,
mm-hmm.
I go to work, I expect everything. When you got a list of shit that's there and you go over there and all your shit is not there, and you're like, I ordered this for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to go discuss with customers, and then I have to take cuts on my check because I have to take credits, and then I get in trouble for how many credits I have. But it's your failure to get me the supplies I need,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand why so many people during COVID started opening their own business. YouTube
Well,
blew up and everything, and everybody went away because it's management has gotten ridiculous of how much they think we need them.
mm-hmm. Well, and
If
it's also there was another report out on how many people now are leaving the regular workforce and looking for work at home jobs. And I think people are looking for work at home jobs because they're tired of dealing with society on a daily basis. Like they would rather just huddle in the corner of the house and do their work and be left alone. Used to you went to work and you had a social life at work, right? And then it's been a weird thing I noticed since 2000 and man, I'm gonna say since about 2004 in the civilian world, things changed. Up until 2004, you worked an 8-hour day, you took an hour lunch, right? You worked a 12-hour day, you took an hour lunch, with a few exceptions. Since about 2004, every job now, you work a 8-hour day, you take a half-hour lunch. Well, I work where I work. It takes me 12 minutes to go somewhere to get food if I want to go get lunch. If I got a 30-minute lunch, it takes me 12 minutes to go down there, 4 or 5 minutes to get it, and 12 minutes back. Uh, that means I'm eating at my desk off on the clock because I got to clock back in and sit there and eat. And I think that's why so many people are wanting to work at home now is because they can, manage their day and they don't have to deal with other people. Because used to, you could go out in the world and just talk to people. Now at work, you got to be like, oh, is there a policy against, I can't talk about purple tennis shoes on Tuesday, you know, I can't drink 7 Up. I got to drink, Sprite 'em up or whatever. And it just
just like
gets,
us, we gotta wrap our cans. You know,
yeah,
even like if me and you take a drink online on this,
yeah.
we have to wrap our cans. We cannot have any trademark stuff like that. So yeah, they can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Yukon Outfitters. Yep, they're awesome. Get them at Bucky's. You know, I love that.
But that's what I mean. It's like our world has become so stressful because everybody's worried about what everybody else is worrying about. You know what I mean? Like you can't just walk down the street. Like I grew up most of my life here in Dallas. You can walk down the street and just say hi to people and wave. Like, hey man, how's it going? You know, and I still do that. And people look at me like I'm crazy. And it's like, dude, this is what we're supposed to be like. We're supposed to address each other with courtesy, right? Just like in the military, when you passed somebody and saluted them, you gave them the greeting of the day, right?
Yeah. Morning, sir.
Well,
How you doing, sir?
I don't have to
Blah blah
salute you on
blah,
this.
sir.
Yeah, I don't have to salute you on a civilian sidewalk, but hey, man, how's it going today? Or hey, have a good day. Or hey, nice to see you. Or hey, nice for you to see me, or something, you know. But it's all about, for lack of a better term, likes. Everybody has to like you now. Everybody has to like you, you know. Or as our president would say, everybody has to like you.
Well, most of the time, he wouldn't even say that. He'd be like,
Well, I
blah,
should.
blah, 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 yeah,
If,
yeah.
if you were here, I would have
I
snipped
like ice cream. Yeah, I got chocolate chip ice cream.
no, if you
Yeah.
were here, I would have. If you were here, I would have snipped your hair when I said it. But anyway, you know, it's all about how everything looks to everybody else, and it's like, you know, who cares, right? There's just people have lost all sense of respect for others, is what it is. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's like the whole, you know, I should be able to do anything I want. And my oldest son has a theory about that. He said, you know, according to the Constitution, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. He said, go do whatever you want to do. But what people have forgotten is
There's a consequence to everything
there's
that
a
you
reward.
do.
Yeah, there's a positive and a negative for everything you do, right? That'd be if I woke up tomorrow morning and said, I don't want to wear pants today or underwear and went to work naked. I can go to work naked. Chances are I ain't gonna have a job. Probably gonna get arrested. But I can do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a consequence for everything.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is now. I guess the society of soft parenting is coming about because uh everybody wanted to be friends with their kids and be buddies with them and all this stuff, and now they're in touch with their feelings. So when somebody tries to discipline them, or they tell them no, or they tell them, hey, you can't do that, it's, oh my god, I'm this and this is why you think so. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, don't walk in front of the goddamn car that's doing 80 miles an hour in the street. But go ahead, dumbass.
Right.
Oh, you think it's because I'm fat? Well, I've been fat my whole life. I don't give a damn. Go to hell. I'm still gonna eat my cheeseburger and French fries and everything else, and I'm gonna eat my pecan swirls. Damn it, Dollar Tree. Dude, $2 trees are out of my pecan swirls. I was not driving to Town East in this damn rain to get them either. But that's all right. Mama got paid, so I got to go to Harbor Freight tomorrow. So yeah, Daddy's got to go do some tool shopping. I got to get me some wrenches for the oven. But anyway, yeah, everybody just think the kids now just think that they just are owed anything, and they think it's, oh, I'm fat, so I'm just gonna be like, you're anti-fat people. Okay, nobody gives a shit.
You know,
I don't
and it's
like fat
weird
people,
because I was brought up.
and I'm fat.
I was brought up being told nobody owes you nothing. So be grateful for anything you get. If you work for it, then it's yours. If somebody gives it to you, be grateful, right? My kids, you know, I don't buy my kids cars. I might help them a little bit get a car, but they gonna work for it. They gonna get that car, and then they gonna learn to take care of that car. That teaches them responsibility. When they're able to get a job, I encourage them to get a job. because that teaches them how to live life. Because as a parent, just like as a leader anywhere else, you're trying to teach everybody below you how to live without you.
Try to get them to be independent,
Mm-hmm.
which I've
Well,
done pretty good with my son. My daughter, she's Jesus Christ, pray for me.
I have the opposite problem. All my children want to get the hell out the house. They want to get as far away from me as they can go for some reason.
Mine does too, but she thinks she's 30 years old and she's only 17.
Yeah, I know. I got one just like it, only it's a boy.
She don't have
And
a license. She don't have a job. I'm like, what in the fuck are you gonna do? How you gonna?
mine, mine has a job, but he's of the opinion that his money is his money and my money is his money.
My wife has that same opinion, but my money is her money.
Well, yeah. Well,
I don't get an opposite of that one.
well, brother, we had about 40 minutes. We probably ought to
Yeah,
tell
man.
everybody bye.
So, oh, did you look up that San Francisco thing?
I was trying to, but I got cut off because somebody tried to call me.
Yeah, I
I
got
was gonna look it
tried
up
to
when I got
call me.
off.
I think they're doing that on purpose because we're in the middle of this shit. But everybody knows Wednesday 7:30.
Yeah.
So San Francisco, did you look up the new reparations that they're trying to pass?
I'm looking it up now.
So they
Try-
said everybody in San Francisco is going to get every black adult descendant or something like that
$5 million,
is getting $5 million
and then an annual income
of
of
97,000. Plus they
for
get a house for $1, and
yeah.
then
But
free
that
medical.
97,000 dollar income is for 250 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know what? More power to California if they can afford it. Because guess what?
California can't. So
They're
San
broke.
Francisco is going to California to the state, and now they're trying to go to the federal.
Yeah.
First off, I know once you get to California Supreme Court, they gonna look at you and laugh because I know they gonna be like, "You fucking stupid. We are not supporting this."
But where do they think they're going to get the money?
That's the whole thing. It's it's gonna cost like they said it's gonna cost more than most states' annual income put
Hmm.
together. I'm like, you really think that that's no? They're not gonna give that to a city, a municipality. Like if there was an earthquake and it totally destroys San Francisco, God forbid, knock on wood, I'm just saying for instance. Now,
Yeah.
if you wanted that kind of money for rebuilding an infrastructure, I can see that on an emergency basis and a rebuilding building and reconstruction.
But the thing is,
But
they're not
today
looking.
they just passed the new fucking law today on raising the ceiling.
But they're not. They're,
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
looking at the economics of it, dude.
Uh,
If you give, if you give, let's just say San Francisco, we're going to say half the population, right? If you give half the population of San Francisco $250,000, I mean, $5 million, and then $97,000 a year for 250 years, the average house in San Francisco is going to cost $12 million.
but they've already lost 6% last since like 19 or last year, and then they've been losing them quite often.
Mm-hmm.
They're way downhill. Um, so the taxes are getting where they're not getting paid because people are selling and this, that, and the other, and they're just like the hell with San Francisco. Let it go. We're leaving. We don't care. You know, get what we can get and leave. So you know,
As long as Nancy Pelosi gets her $23 a pint ice cream, everything's fine.
Jesus Christ, that woman. Yeah, but I mean, even now, I've been even the black uh, community of San Francisco and even the legislatures and the reps and stuff living in that area, you know, the young professional veterans and professional businesses and stuff like that are saying this is dumb. We don't want $5 million. We don't want reparations. You know, they were like, maybe, hey, why don't we do better medical and dental for the community?
Why don't they?
Like the whole damn community, like
I mean, if they're going to
all of
spend,
San Fran
yeah, if
for
they're going to
that
spend,
kind of money.
if they're going to spend that kind of money, why don't they give each public school $5 million added to their budget?
Yeah. You know how many more teachers they can actually hire?
And then why don't they give each community center $97,000 a year added to their budget?
I mean, that would be a lot better and cheaper
And then do what I've always said.
and actually get the community involvement of helping your community
Mm-hmm.
get employment centers going and stuff like that, get grants going on like there where they can give out, you know, so many millions of dollars to do that and help them. There's so
Well,
many things out there. Like I've
and
even started looking at the grants to get veteran grants to open community centers here in Dallas and Mesquite and just
mm-hmm,
this area because there's nothing around here besides
mm-hmm.
the VFW. It's stuck way in the back, and most of the people in there are just not
Well,
people I would,
but
you
my
know,
thing is even
everybody doesn't get along there.
right. But
There's a
even
older
we're talking
family.
about the money in the schools and stuff here in Texas. We've got magnet school programs where kids can get their associate's degree while they're in high school, right? But my thing is, why don't we just add 2 more years to public school so that everybody gets to that associate degree level, either academically or in a trade school program? So instead of graduating at 12th grade, you graduate at 14th grade or whatever you want to call it, but you have 2 years of college level study or 2 years of nothing but industrial job training under your belt when you walk out the door.
That's not gonna work. No,
Well, I
not
know.
gonna work because that means you got to go to school 5 days a week, and these people, I don't know what the hell they think of trying to cut schools to 4 days a week.
Well, all
These
that's
kids
going to,
ain't learning shit now. Why the hell you gonna cut the damn education
well,
system?
my thing is if you cut it to 4 days a week, you're just making more expense for the families. Because now, if you got little kids, somebody got to do daycare 1 day a week, right? If both, because nowadays, most of the time, both parents have to work, you
Even
know?
if they don't have to, most of them won't to because they don't like me. I don't like being sitting in this house. Like today, I slept all damn day. I feel great, but you know, like yesterday, I just get if I sit in that garage, man, I get cabin fever. I want to get out and do something, so I get out and I like rake the dirt or something. But of course, you know, I've already raked all that dirt. Now I've got to go plant seed tomorrow. But I'm probably gonna wait until next week because it's supposed to be raining all week. But that's a
Yep.
different story. But yeah, it's 48. Well, we can go ahead and
All
call it.
right, brother.
But y'all have a good
I'll
night,
talk
man.
to you
I'll
tomorrow.
see you tomorrow.
Later, everybody.
All right, bye bye.